Broadcasting live across the southern plains from the tornado bunker in the McRoof World Headquarters, the McRoof Radio Network brings you Home Repair McRoof Style. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, and today we're live in studio with CertainTeed's Territory Manager of Residential and Commercial Products, Roofing Products, Trevor Thompson.
Good morning.
I got that almost right.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Residential and Commercial Roofing Products. Retro Radio Randy is the wizard on the other side of the curtain.
Howdy do, Southern Plains. Happy Independence.
Oh, yes, sir. He will answer your call to 405-656-5868. And let's see, on Act 1 of today's show, well, this is going to be a special Independence Day weekend edition of Home Repair McRoof Style. So there's going to be a strong theme of today's show. But Act 1, we'll start with our trivia question, which follows that theme, and the tool of the week, which follows that theme. And as always, we're taking your home repair questions, but, just today, why don't you just call in for the trivia question, and then we'll then enjoy the rest of the historical July 4th trivia that we have in store for you. That number again, 405-656-5868. McRoof.us meteorologist Dion Markham has the weekend off, visiting his folks back home in the Tennessee hills, but we will still have Southern Plains weather this week. In Act 2 of the show, Scott McCullum, the restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler, he will phone in our What Were They Thinking segment. The title of this week's story is Myrtle, We've Danced This Dance Before. I have a feeling it's a continuation of last week's horror story. Then in Act 3, we'll have our After the Storm tip, and we'll wrap up with some very wise words from Scott's dad. And coming back from breaks, we'll have some obscure non-Independence Day historical trivia for you, things that happened on this date of July 2nd. I'd like to tell you that the McRoof Radio Network includes KOKC in Oklahoma City, KNSS in Wichita, and KALV in Alva. You can also hear us on the iHeartRadio and Odyssey apps. You get to us on iHeartRadio through KOKC. You get to us on Odyssey through KNSS. And wherever we are, we're also live streaming on the Home Repair McRoof Style YouTube channel. Hey, why don't you go ahead and subscribe while you go there? You can also call us, 405-656-5868. And then one last little bit of business. S&CM LLC is doing business as McRoof.us, legally operating under Kansas registration number 22-008700 and Oklahoma registration number 80000002. Registrations apply to residential and commercial roofing in both states. Well, hello, Trevor. Welcome back.
Good to be here, man.
Been a while since we've seen you.
We've been consistent every year. This has been my weekend.
Yeah, you get, and I know that your regular monthly visit is the first Saturday of the month. Have you rethought that now? Because you get...
I think I must be a boring guy because I seem to be free this weekend every year. Maybe it's the heat and trying to stay out of it.
Well, no kidding. No kidding. So the trivia question, this was sent in by Scott. He sent me a whole lot of trivia questions. I picked one. We'll get to the rest of them throughout the rest of the show. But here's the trivia question for you listeners today. 4th of July celebrations increased heavily in the U.S. after what war? Now, I can give you some guesses. Let's say the Civil War, or as they say down south, the War of Northern Aggression, the War of 1812, World War I, or World War II. Which war, after which war did the U.S. really take off with celebrating July 4th? If you think you know the answer, give us a call, 405-656-5868. And in the Independence Day patriotic vein, the tool of the week, Scott McCullum also recommended this. It's by Matco Tools, and you have to go to vehicleservicepros.com to find it, but it is a toolbox, one of those big wheeled toolboxes you see in garages.
Right, one of the uprights.
Yeah, well, this sucker has a great big old American flag on the front of it.
Ah, nice.
and it's a special edition patriotic flag, double bay, 25-inch toolbox, meaning it's 25 inches deep. But it has a bunch of drawers and cabinets on it, and big old American flag on the front. They also make a Canadian flag version, if that floats your boat. But
Probably not as popular here.
probably not. But that's our tool of the week. I have no idea how much it costs. I went to the website, and you have to email them to fill out their online form to find out
So then get your
more
information
yeah,
first.
Yeah, they want that information. Okay, so I tell you what, let's go ahead and do the weather. Here's your Southern Plains weather this week. It's going to be a hot one. It's going to be a scorcher. Stay in, stay hydrated, stay cool. All right, Trevor, back to you.
Didn't see that one coming.
I looked at the 7-day and I thought, oh my goodness,
Hot.
hot.
It's
yeah.
coming back.
We're gonna top the century mark.
The break's been fantastic.
Yeah.
The weather's been so gorgeous
Yeah.
this last week or so.
Humidity's been down. Temps have been up a little bit, but hey, the humidity's been down. I think all of that comes to an end this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Yeah, summer really gets here
back.
this week. Yeah. Okay, so what else has been going on in your life since we have seen you?
We're getting ready to do some plant tours again.
Okay.
So things have been kind of shut down for
Certainty.
the last 2 years, really, since
This
COVID.
is as your function as the territory manager
Right.
in residential and commercial roofing products for Certainty,
Right.
the world's largest manufacturer of commercial building products.
So we have various shingle manufacturing plants that feed into this market in
Okay.
particular. The closest one is either Shreveport, Louisiana, or Ennis, Texas.
Okay.
So we finally got a green light that we can now take contractors and suppliers down there to go do some plant tours so they can see the whole process.
Right.
All the fiberglass mat, the asphalt, the granules, the adhesion, how they wrap those bundles and put them on pallets and all that fun stuff.
Wow.
So we're getting excited, getting something like that scheduled.
Everyone wears a hard hat, I assume.
Oh, yeah, hard hats. Well, that's what I meant, hard hats, but they've got little headsets, kind of a tour guide scenario where
Okay.
one of the plant managers will walk everybody through, because it's pretty noisy inside
I'm
there.
sure it is, yeah.
But we can hear him through the headsets, and he'll
Okay.
go through and walk through asphalt temperatures and how everything works. And
Wow.
it really changes your perspective on that whole industry when you go through the plant and see
Sure.
that process.
Yeah, seeing how things are made.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Several years ago, not roofing related at all, but I was visiting my sister in Denver, and she took my wife and I to two plants in the area. One was the Celestial Seasonings tea manufacturing plant, which I found very,
Interesting.
very fascinating. They make a peppermint, the sleepy time tea, and they have a separate, not separate from another building, but a separate room for storing the peppermint tea that they make, because that aroma is so
strong.
strong, it
Permeates
dilutes,
everything.
permeates
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
and it gets into everything. And then we also went to the Coors factory in Golden, and
that'd be
that was a
interesting.
lot of fun. Yeah, I never thought I would enjoy pumpkin beer, but
I think the first plant tour I ever did was in California. It was the Jelly Bellies
ah,
plant, the little jelly beans.
uh-huh.
It was pretty neat.
All right. So let me tell you what is going on at Carpenter Square Theater, and it is hopping down there. They have finished installing the conduit above the lighting grid, so they're now running wire into those conduit pieces and wiring up the outlets where the lights will actually plug into.
Very cool.
So we're nearing the end of that phase of installation, and I figure it'll be about 60 days after they finally finish before we open. So later this summer, we'll be open later this summer.
That's exciting.
Oh man,
Within 2 months,
Yeah.
thought process?
Oh gosh, it's been a 3-year process. I mean, we had we called it a before party in early June of 19, and we invited all of our patrons to the empty warehouse. All we had done is I had pressure washed the floor to kind of get some of the grease up.
Yeah.
But it was just 12,000 square feet of empty warehouse.
I'm excited to
And
go.
we've built all of the walls, run all the plumbing, all the wiring, installed, we replaced, I don't know how many dozens of fire sprinkler heads.
Oh, everything bringing up to code.
We're bringing everything up to code. I will tell you, our previous place, they kind of moved in and did everything themselves and opened the doors and,
Duct tape and baling wire.
yeah. The lighting system was extension cords. And, but the statute of limitations has run out now and we're not there anymore. So, when I took over, I insisted everything has to be up to code.
Good.
And I'm so glad we did. Oh, and we have a caller. We have a trivia caller. And let me talk to Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Okay, how are you guys today?
We're
Good.
doing
Good morning.
great. All right, so which war was it? After which war did the U.S. start to really celebrate July 4th? Hey, Joe, turn your radio down too, please.
Okay. I believe it was World War II.
Ooh, sorry, Joe. That was one of the choices, but that was not the war.
That would have been my guess.
Yeah. Gosh, Joe. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. Good guess. But I will, since that was the last of the 4 wars that I listed: Civil War, War of 1812, World War I, World War II. So it was obviously earlier than World War II.
Huh.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate your call.
Okay.
Let freedom ring, Joe.
All righty. You too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, so that brings us
So it's
down.
not World War II.
Not World War II. America got patriotic before World War II. Okay? So, I'll tell you what, Randy, let's talk a little bit about, Randy, you were involved with something with Carpenter Square last weekend. You and I both were.
Yes, we were.
We had the last of our CST Live Online presentations, live theatrical reenactment of Fibber McGee and Molly.
And it was a blast.
It really was. Actors in costume. We have great actors playing Fibber and Molly.
And they reprised those roles. They played, I think, 5 scripts?
We did 5 Fibbers over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun to try to reenact old radio and try to reinvoke the theater of the mind. And,
Yeah.
And as you and I were talking yesterday, there are lots of folks who had actually tuned in and watched the broadcast on YouTube.
Right,
And then they go back and listen again without the video
right,
to get the old radio
right.
mindset back.
Because
That's how it was.
We were doing radio, but because we were doing radio with video, we put the actors in costume and had them actually look at one another and react and things like that. And the closet, even though this episode that we did, the episode was from 1939, but the closet gag, the Fibber McGee's closet gag, where he goes to get something out of the closet, opens the door, and just this avalanche of stuff falls out and
Yeah.
makes a lot of noise. That didn't actually appear until, 41 or 43. But a few years later, anyway, our director, Rhonda Clark, found a way to fit it in.
And it worked.
Nice.
It's just such a great gag.
Yeah, and to make all of those sounds live. We have a big square aluminum bucket, on a stand, a rolling stand. It's an ice chest kind of thing, old school.
Wash tub, actually.
Yeah, wash tub. Yeah, it's an old wash tub. And we just had filled full of stuff. And then there's a metal can at the end that somebody drops to sort of add the exclamation point and put the period.
Punctuation.
Yeah. Okay, well, enough about that. That's the end of Act 1. Let's be back in a few minutes with Act 2 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. We're still looking for that trivia question. After which war did July 4th celebrations really take off in the U.S.? Was it Civil War, War of 1812, or World War II? No, World War I. We know it's not two. Give us a call, 405-656-5868. This is the McRoof Radio Network. Hey folks, Brad's Heat and Air has been serving the greater metro for almost 40 years. They install and service all brands of heating and air conditioning equipment, and they are a certified American Standard dealer. Now, you may not have known that Brad's also installs Aprilaire Central Air Cleaners as part of your home central HVAC system. Are you tired of seeing dust around the house minutes after you've cleaned and dusted? How about that pet dander and pollen killing your allergies? Well, talk to Brad about the Aprilaire system. It's a whole house air filtration system. You'll have a healthier home environment with less pet dander, less smoke, less pollen, mold, and dust mites. You will breathe easier. Call Brad's today at 405-799-7823 or visit online at bradsheatandair.com. Tell them McRoof sent you. Hey, Scott, I have folks tell me all the time that they can't find anybody out there to inspect their roof or to just fix a leak. You started Roof RX to remedy that issue, didn't you?
Well, I did. Roofers are in the business to replace roofs. They're not in the business to inspect, repair, or maintain them.
So what's so different about Roof RX then?
Well, Roof RX is a standalone company totally separate from McRoof. The inspectors are trained professionals armed with knowledge and technology. They are not roofing salespeople. Our repairs are guaranteed for life, and we offer a money-back guarantee.
Wow, that sounds great, but I'll bet you're booked up for months out.
No, sir, we're generally no more than a week or so out, and of course we get on emergencies a whole lot faster than that. Get on our list by calling Carly at 405-877-ROOF or online at roof-rx.com. Hey, Rick, this is something that Roof RX is really proud of. This is our presentation of a Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor. The Daylight Doctor's prescription for your dark home.
Ooh.
Okay, our Solitude daylighting systems bring pure natural light to brighten even the darkest spaces and for a fraction of the cost of a traditional skylight. We can install your Solitude daylighting system in about 2 hours. That's right. We can prescribe and cure your home in about 2 hours. The Daylight Doctor can remedy your dark kitchen, those bathrooms or hallways. Take advantage of the 26% solar tax credit and save today. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 to schedule your free house call. House call. Again.
From a doctor.
From a doctor. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 and get the prescription and cure today.
Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army and was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy was the pilot of a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. November 11, 1943, Homer and his crew, along with 31 other bombers, flew a mission to destroy a ball bearing plant in occupied France. On the return trip, a mechanical failure caused the plane to drop out of formation, leaving the Yankee Doodle Dandy vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109 shot the plane down near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board. The others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 21 years of service with numerous awards and citations, not to mention the Purple Heart. Homer Stacy. Homer Stacy McCullum. Scott McCullum's dad. Scott McCullum is McRoof. McRoof is owned and operated by the McCullum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to improve or repair your property, Call 855-766-3405. Ask for a no-cost roof assessment and home inspection. That's McRoof, 855-766-3405. That's McRoof.
And Home Repair McRoof Style back on the air for Act 2 of today's special Independence Day holiday edition of the show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with CertainTeed's Territory Manager for Residential and Commercial Roofing Products, Trevor Thompson.
That's it.
Retro Radio Randy answering the phones on the other side of the curtain. And that number to call for the trivia, if you think you know after which war did July 4th celebrations really take off, give us a call, 405-656-5868. Now here's some on this day historical trivia. July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart disappeared,
Wow.
flying over the Pacific, along with her navigator Fred Noonan. On this date in 1698, going way back now, this isn't American history, this was back in England, but an English engineer patented the first steam engine in 1698. Now, fast forward up to 1847, and the first envelope bearing a U.S. 10-cent stamp was used. 1847, the first use of a 10-cent stamp, and that stamp is still in use today.
Really?
Yep. That's pretty obscure. We'll have more historical trivia pertaining to Independence Day in this segment, but I do want to first take this phone call from Danny. Hello, Danny. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi there. Now, you're calling from the Wichita area, are you not?
I am. That is correct.
Okay, so which war are we looking for? The Civil War, War of 1812, or World War I?
I believe it was the War of 1812.
You got it.
There you go.
You got it. Now, how far did you have to Google to get that?
No. I just like history.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to send you back to Retro Radio Randy, and he will get your contact information. We want to mail you a book. It's either going to be either The Coaching Habit, which is about mentoring, or Raving Fans, which is about turning your customers into raving fans. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, and
Have a great weekend.
Sending you back. Let freedom ring.
Same with you.
All right. And here we go. So let's get into some historical trivia, shall we? Now, how about a quiz?
Okay, bring it.
All right. I'll start with
I'm going to show my ignorance.
I'll start with a real easy one.
There you go. Give me some low pitch.
In what year did America declare its independence?
1776.
And from what country?
From England.
Yes.
I'm going to stop right there.
And who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, man. Is it Thomas Jefferson?
I actually circled the wrong answer first, so I got to go back here and take a look.
Signature-wise, it's always John Hancock's what everybody thinks about.
Yeah. Yeah, Jefferson.
He
Yeah.
drafted it.
Yeah, he drafted. He was the majority of it. In what city was the first Independence Day celebration?
Oh, my.
And in what year?
Was it Philly?
It was Philly, and it was
Okay.
on the 1-year anniversary.
Hey, I'm doing pretty well.
You are. You're doing pretty well. Now, here's a stumper.
Yeah, here it comes.
How many people signed the Declaration of
I have no
Independence?
idea. 24.
Way north of that, 56.
Wow.
56. But here's what's really wild. They didn't all sign it on July 4th. It actually took until August to get all of the signatures.
Huh.
of 1776. Yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. In what year did Independence Day become a legal holiday?
Oh, I have no idea.
1941.
Really?
Yeah, a federal legal holiday.
Quite a delay.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of makes you wonder. Well, Father's Day didn't come till what? It's 1960s or something like that.
It's interesting that the 1812 date and then the 41 date
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
they're
kind of
just
two ramping up.
yeah. That took a long time. How many fireworks displays are there across America?
Oh my.
How about 14,000?
Is that just Oklahoma?
Yeah, right. Here's one going way back to 1778. George Washington celebrated Independence Day by giving what to his soldiers? Remember, we're still fighting the war in 78. I mean, we declared independence in 76. We didn't really win until 89. So in 78, Washington is still fighting the war. How did he celebrate Independence Day with his soldiers? By giving them what?
I give up.
A double ration of their allocation of rum. Well, I bet they became loyal soldiers. I'll just tell you this one. 42 million people travel at least 50 miles for the holiday. Nearly 70 million cases of beer are sold each year. The most popular, I'm going to ask you this, the most popular way the Americans celebrate the 4th of July?
Fireworks.
Nope. Barbecue picnic.
Really? I thought you were going to ask what food.
Ah.
I was going to say hot dogs. Or
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, that's, 150 million hot dogs, but there's actually way more chicken bought in the week before Independence Day
I'll be
than
darned.
beef or pork. Let's see. Do you know who the oldest man to sign the the Declaration of Independence?
it's not Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, it is.
Was it Benjamin
Yeah.
Franklin?
Well, he was an old fart even.
I know he was
even
older
then, yeah.
than the rest of them at that time, but I'm not doing too bad.
The first person to sign the Declaration?
Was it Thomas Jefferson?
No. No. Think big.
Big size?
We're talking signatures here.
John Hancock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you know why he signed it so big? Do you think it was because he was sending a message to King George, or he was inspiring his other delegates? No, it's just how he signed his name.
Just sign big.
He just signed big.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Because they're all the red
Yeah.
signatures are smaller than his.
Yeah. Let's see. The average American spends about $75 on 4th of July food.
When was that dated?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, shopping this week was an eye opener. I'll tell you that.
Boy, no kidding. No kidding. The largest 4th of July fireworks display takes place where? do you think?
DC.
No.
No.
It's the Macy's in New York City.
Really?
Uh-huh. And I've been there. We went there because my wife's and my anniversary is July 4th. And so we went there one year.
So you guys got married on July 4th?
Yeah, we did.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. It had been a sad day for both of us for different reasons. And so we decided to take a day that had unpleasant memories.
Change it up?
And change it up.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Taking matters into your own hands.
we did. So one year we went to New York City and went to the celebration, the fireworks. That year they had moved them over to the to the Hudson. They moved them to the Hudson. And 6 barges. It takes 6 barges full of fireworks.
Oh, they do it out in the water.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that'd
and
be
they have
neat.
it's like 6 simultaneous fireworks displays up and down the river.
Wow.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Do you know which 2 presidents died on July 4th?
Nope.
I'll tell you in a minute. when I find it. But they were actually quite bitter enemies in Congress. They did not like each other, and yet they remained civil to one another. And and this is really wild. Randy, do you know?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson,
Uh-huh.
John Adams.
I believe that's right. And they both died on the 50th anniversary
That's right.
of
Same day.
Uh-huh.
They died the same day.
but it was the 50th anniversary of signing the Declaration.
Wow.
And they both died on the same day. And then another president, James Monroe, also died on the 4th of July, but I don't know what year. It's pretty wild, huh?
A lot happening this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of what's happening this weekend, somewhere I have, there it is, the list of parades and stuff that is
Oh, yeah.
that is going on. Bethany's is probably over by now. It started at 10, so it's probably pretty close to being over. Let's see, but they'll have fireworks tonight at beginning at 9:55. And Street Fest all day and fireworks tonight in Bethany. Edmond will have their Liberty Fest parade on the 4th, on Monday, and fireworks at Hafer Park at 9:30 on Monday. Frontier City, you know, the Western theme park,
Yeah.
all weekend, fireworks shows all night. Moore, Oklahoma, Celebration in the Heartland is Monday at Buck Thomas Park. Norman is hosting theirs 4th Fest on July 4th at 5 p.m. at Reeves Park. And Oklahoma City Philharmonic will be on stage at Scissortail Park tomorrow night at 8:30 for Red, White, and Boom.
With the fireworks. So live.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
that'd be
it's really
fantastic.
quite something. It's really, I mean, live Philharmonic and, you know.
With the fireworks.
They're playing all the music, and there you go. And then lastly, Yukon's Freedom Fest will take place tomorrow and Monday at the Chisholm Trail Monument. So that's what's going on around Oklahoma City.
That's good stuff.
So what are you doing?
I'm probably going to cook some of those hot dogs that we picked up. We did get some chicken too.
Yeah,
And
of
I think
course.
our neighborhood, we've got about 5 different spots all around our neighborhood where you just kind of swivel your chair and they're going off from everywhere, and it's the big stuff.
Yeah. I can remember years ago going out to Lake Hefner and just sitting on the edge before all the development happened, and just watching the displays from
All over
around.
town.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't hear anything, but you go, oh, look, there's one over there. There's one over there, and they're not as big as when you're, right in the right under them.
We used to live in Seattle years ago, and we used to watch across the water the Tacoma show. You're talking about the Hudson doing it over the water. You see that reflection. That was pretty fantastic.
Oh, I'll bet. Let's see. Well, my neighborhood does a parade, and it's quite fun. And my wife was in it. My wife and granddaughters were in it a few years ago when she had a convertible, and knew she was going to be selling the convertible, and she wanted to put the kids in the parade before she sold the convertible. But normally we go and sit and watch, because I think, the parade watchers are just as important as the parade marchers, and we cheer and cheer them along, and everyone throws candy. I run out and scoop up the candy and then give it back to them at Halloween.
That's efficiency at its best.
Have you priced the bags of
A
candy?
little 6-month delay there, and
It's wrapped.
a little road rash.
Well, if the tire has gone over it, I will leave it alone. Hey, let's talk. Actually, Ben, we're overdue for a commercial, so hang on through the break, and we'll come back and talk to you after we take our break. So that's the end of Act 2 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with he's going to call in this next portion. We're live in studio with Certainteed's Trevor Thompson. We'll be back in a little bit. Want to let you know, we had somebody win the trivia question. So I'll just say that this is the McRoof Radio Network.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma City-based nonprofit that provides military honors and ceremonies, service dogs for disabled veterans, and multiple activities and events for the veteran and their family. When Honoring America's Warriors was established, our first sponsor and supporter was McRoof. Now, years later, McRoof and the McCullum family continue to provide financial support to Honoring America's Warriors' important programs. To learn more about our mission, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org. Go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
Rick, once again, the Roof RX Company is proud to present the Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctor.
Daylight Doctors, the prescription for your dark home. Our Solitude daylighting systems bring pure natural light to brighten even the darkest spaces and for a fraction of the cost of a traditional skylight. We can install your Solitude daylighting systems in about 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. We can prescribe and cure your dark home in 2 hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. The Daylight Doctor can remedy your dark kitchen, bathrooms, hallways, and you can take advantage of the 26% solar tax credit. Ask us how today. Visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483 to schedule your free house call.
Wow.
Get the doctor in your house. Again, visit OKCSkylights.com or call 405-977-5483. Get the prescription and the cure today.
I'm Dustin Holtz, and I am McRoof. We're looking for the best talent in the roofing and restoration industries to join our team of solutions specialists. Hear what our customers have to say. Here's Johnny.
They were such pleasant young men, set my mind at ease. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Now here's John.
My hat's off to McRoof for making that happen when nobody else would touch it. You really made a difference in our lives.
And then Dean.
You really know your roofing business and you do quality work. But what sets you apart from other roofers is the people. You treated us just like family.
Want to sell shingles? Go work for another roofer. Want to change people's lives by providing quality solutions? Come join our team. Email me at dustin.holt@mcroof.us. dustin.holt@mcroof.us.
I'm Scotty McCollum, and I am McRoof. The qualities that every McRoof team member possesses are attention to detail, integrity, and a commitment to be an expert in our field. The goal of every McRoof project is to restore a home or business to the fullest extent, and in the process, we try to create a relationship as well as lasting peace of mind. We're not happy if you're not happy.
Replacement done right. McRoof.us, 855-766-3405.
And Home Repair McRoof Style back on the air for Act 3 of today's show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with CertainTeed's Territory Manager for Residential and Commercial Roofing Products, Trevor Thompson.
You do that one 5 times fast.
Retro Radio Randy, pushing buttons on the other side of the curtain. And let's see, a little bit of historical trivia for you today. Oh, I do want to let you know that we are live streaming this on the Home Repair McRoof Style YouTube page. Yeah, you can go there and see what riveting radio really looks like. You can also hear us on the iHeartRadio and Odyssey apps. But let me tell you all that on this date in 1955, the Lawrence Welk Show premiered on ABC.
With all those bubbles.
Yeah, with all those bubbles. My folks even got to dance on that show a couple of times.
Really?
I got to watch them. Yeah, we lived in L.A. at the time. But on this date in 1956,
You ain't nothing but a hound.
yeah, Elvis recorded Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel on this date. Oh, man, I love that song. My cousin in Ohio had it, and we went to sleep one night with it playing on the record player, and it just played all night long, over and over again, all night long. But 1 year, no, on yesterday's date in 1967, this is what everyone was listening to, because the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, released on July 1 of 67. It went number one and stayed there for 15 weeks.
Wow.
So we got some Beatles in, not exactly,
Yeah.
but this is what a lot of people were listening to.
Oh, yeah?
All those many years ago. Okay, let's go talk to our friend Ben. Hello, Ben.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great. I understand you have some more July 4th trivia for us.
Yes, I do. And I caught this on a segment that Tucker Carlson does periodically called Final Exam. And he gets a couple of people on, and they have it's a multiple choice series of questions that he asks. And you get a point for getting the answer right. You get a point for getting the answer wrong.
Okay, so what's the trivia?
You lose a point for getting the answer.
Yeah,
anyway.
we understand how game shows work.
Okay, all right, to the point. Who, I won't even ask the question, but I got it right. I figured it correctly. But who is a direct descendant? She's a woman. She's in Hollywood, but she's a direct descendant of one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence from New Jersey, and the only preacher who signed it.
Oh gosh, I would have failed this test.
Huh.
Well, I guessed it correctly. Surprised myself.
Trevor,
and
do you know?
I don't have the cheat sheet Google stuff. So
Okay.
I just take a flyer, and sometimes I get it, and sometimes I don't.
Well,
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon. Wow.
Yep. John Witherspoon of New Jersey was the
Was a
only
signer.
preacher who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Well, how about that?
I just thought I'd share that with you.
I appreciate it.
And real quick, did you ever hear Elvis Presley sing a cappella? He started as a gospel singer.
Right.
And he does not have to have accompaniment, or didn't.
Yeah.
He beautiful singing voice. Ballad Hymn of the Republic and of course other gospel songs. But
Yeah.
He was a really good singer.
Okay. Well, very good then.
That's all I have to add to the program today. Enjoy the holiday break, and chat with you next time around, whatever that is.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks.
Let freedom ring.
You bet.
All right. And let's just go straight to the restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler himself, Scott McCollum. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing very well.
Good. Sounds like you're having a good show. Hey, I wanted to, don't let me forget after we do the horror story, I want to get Trevor to talk a little bit about some letters that I got from Certain Teeth this week, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, let's get right to that horror story then. Stand by. This is the segment of the show, boys and girls, where we get scary. It's a horror story of the week, a segment we call the title of this week's scary story. Myrtle, we've danced this dance before.
Yeah, and we have danced this dance before. Trevor, you're going to love this one. I think I asked you one time, we were tearing off a roof, and I think I asked you one time what the most layers of roofing you had ever seen on a roof was. And I can't remember what your answer was, but we kind of chuckled back then. That was Myrtle, and she had a mess on her hands. Well, we go out this week to start tearing off a roof for some folks, and we're a little bit surprised. We knew there were multiple layers of asphalt shingles on the roof, and we knew that down at the bottom of that, we were also going to find an old wood shake roof. What we ended up with, get this, Trevor, 4 layers of asphalt shingle.
Oh, good grief.
Okay. A layer of membrane roofing.
Like modified?
And yeah. Rolled roofing of some type. Who knows what it was. And on top of cedar shingles. Six roofs on this house. So, oh my gosh, you talk about a mess. But anyway, we got it all torn off. Of course, you got the skip decking underneath those cedar shingles. So redeck's in order, got it all redecked, and the guys are over there this morning butting up a beautiful new roof for these folks.
What
and
the
they're just
sheetrock
so
do
thankful.
inside?
I
Did it?
I think one of these times we talked about this before. I told you that you could just literally feel the house going, aha!
Oh, yeah.
Just like, thank goodness somebody finally had sense enough to go about this the right way. So, anyway, yeah, Myrtle, we've danced that dance before. I guess I don't know. I think 6 is going to top it all. I don't think I'll ever see more than 6. Although I think Rick Lippard's house may probably had more than 6 layers of asphalt in places on his flat roof.
I think it was 6 layers of
oh my God,
tar and felt.
Yeah, about a foot and a half of tar layers.
Whoa, yeah, and believe me, when Scott said the house went, I felt my house do that. I was there when it. Thank you.
Oh my God! I tell you, it's just amazing, though. You know, I know there are people out there that think another layer of anything has got to be better than tearing off. Gives you a little bit more protection. Trevor can talk about all the reasons that's not the case. But Trevor, what I wanted you to visit with the folks about a little bit. I know you've only got a couple minutes. Take a couple minutes to talk about credentials. Okay. I got letters from Certainteed. In the mail or by email yesterday for our storm solutions specialist designation and for our select shingle master designations having to do with our insurance renewals and things like that. Talk a little bit to people about why you really want to ask questions about credentials and how it serves to protect the consuming public. So, and then I'm going to get off the phone and hang up and listen. You guys have a wonderful 4th of July holiday, and I appreciate Randy being there this morning, okay?
Have a
Thank
great
you,
weekend.
Scott.
Thanks, sir.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Let freedom ring.
So credentialing. When a homeowner or business owner or property manager is trying to make a decision as to who to use,
right?
What contractor, there's a handful of different things someone can do, but one of the core things that a consumer can look at is what training has this contractor had, or what type of a relationship does the contractor have with the manufacturer of the product that they are installing.
Right.
Because unsettlingly enough, there's a lot of contractors that, especially in a market like Oklahoma, where the typical model is the contractor hires a subcontractor, and sometimes the contractor crosses his fingers and just hopes that the sub crew already knows how to install the product, because the contractor himself does not.
Right.
So there's a gap there that can happen. One of the ways you can kind of close that gap is look at a contractor and see what type of certification or credential they might have with the manufacturer. And with Certainteed in particular, that credential is based on education. So we have a Shingle Master credential and we have a Select Shingle Master.
Okay.
And the difference between those two is the level of education that Certainteed requires on behalf of the contractor at the Shingle level, Master level. But the Select requires not only the owner, the sales guys, the project managers, but also the installation crews themselves. We require that at least 50% of those guys themselves have been trained as well. And so I do a lot of that training here in Oklahoma with the crews in Spanish. So we'll do English installation classes, we'll do Spanish with the guys. So the idea is ultimately the focus from Certainteed in this whole credentialed conversation is it's all focused on the customer, because you've got the manufacturer, the contractors, the installers, but ultimately the goal is, hey, if we can raise the education level, increase your knowledge, maybe give you some hands-on installation, the goal is that the end consumer, the odds of them having a better roof installed correctly just went up.
Right.
So that's something that Scott's talked about. We've done multiple trainings with the sales staff, some of the office staff, the project managers, and the installation crews. A couple of times a year, we'll go in and put them out in the warehouse, and we'll build a mock-up where it looks like a little mini house.
Right.
And then we'll talk about sometimes the top 10 errors of what contractors make in the nation that create leaks. So that's what a credential does. And you can, on our website, if you go to the certainteed.com website, there will be, search a pro. And you can put in your zip code, and it'll run a search. And it'll group those contractors in your market by select Shingle Master contractor first, and then after that, as you can continue to scroll down, Shingle Master.
So when someone in the Oklahoma City metro area, and I assume other areas of Oklahoma, puts in their zip code, McRoof.us comes right up.
Yep.
Good. Hey, we just have a couple of minutes left. Let's try to get a little bit more historical trivia. We've been talking about Independence Day. Of course, we declared our independence in 1776. In 1789, the year that we finally won, President George Washington signed the first U.S. Tariff Act. So we started, charging taxes on folks bringing in stuff. Let's see, West Point opened on this date in 1802. Thomas Jefferson announced the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. Let's see, slavery was abolished in New York in 1827. Let's see. And moving on into a little bit further into the country, America, or My Country 'Tis of Thee, was first sung in Boston. Now, granted, we all know it's really God Save the Queen, but, we came from England and, we haven't strayed very far. On July 4th, 1847, Henry David Thoreau moved his shack onto Walden Pond. Let's see, Boise, Idaho was founded as the capital of Idaho. Now it's the capital. 1863, Boise. 1847, Texas Congress voted to annex to the U.S. And they've been threatening to leave ever since, it seems like. And this date was just used a lot of times for a lot of different reasons. 1876, the first public exhibition of electric light in San Francisco. 1883, Buffalo Bill Cody presented his first Wild West show. Let's see, the Statue of Liberty was presented to the U.S. in Paris on this date in 1884. They said, we're going to give this to you. Lou Gehrig gave his luckiest man speech at the retirement of his jersey on his Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium, 1939, July 4th. You hear about that speech a lot. Didn't know it was July 4th of 1939. And I think this is correct. On this date in 1944, the U.S. Army raised a flag on Iwo Jima. So,
significant.
There we go. And in 1966, LBJ signed the Freedom of Information Act. So, we're running out of time rapidly. So, we should get to the closing. The dad's wisdom from Scott McCollum's father. You can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach him to fish and he can feed himself. Nice. This has been the special Independence Day holiday celebration edition of Home Repair McRoof Style, show number 224. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. Thank you, Trevor Thompson, for being here.
Hey, good to be here. Shout out to all our first responders.
Yes. Thank you, Retro Radio Randy.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you all next week.